making content in 2026 is a very different world. Now, before we dive into how that affects you and me, what's up, everyone? This is my friend Jay Mitchell, who is the owner of Coup de Tête. You guys have seen him in many videos. You are no stranger to this channel.
A stranger to this room, though. It looks fantastic.
It looks good, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I haven't done a tour yet. There's a few pieces I'm waiting for.
There you go.
And then we'll get to it.
Yeah.
But you and I are in a similar situation with how we feel about making content in 2026. And I thought it was a very relevant topic to talk about now because it's a very different landscape.
Definitely.
Things are happening fast and at a very different way from everything we've ever known. And a lot of like the way I used to teach how to make content online, I think is different entirely now.
Yeah, it's I think a big thing, just looking at it from what I thought I needed to do to what is getting real response in real time is so different and almost like anti-intuitive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I needed to do all of these things and I was basing my ideas off of so many things, and then taking a break and coming back into it, I was like, oh, okay, this is where it's going now.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, part of me likes it. I think it's cool. And then I think part of me also feels like quite an old man about it. I want to say like feel my age, and the way I'm doing things feels like I'm stuck in my old ways and refusing to adapt to the new ways, which I'm definitely now open to. And I thought like we could discuss that as a whole. So essentially the state of social media and Instagram and these platforms being viable spaces for us to exist as creatives.
Yeah, I'm in such a new area because of the direction that I want the content to go in, through your help and through the help of like our awesome community of creators and photographers and stuff. It was really learning like that product photography side and really making the pictures sing. And we work with so many different people. I always had great photos. And so I lived in this perfect little box of nice hat picture.
Yeah.
Nice lifestyle picture of cowboys out on a ranch.
And that's all you needed.
Yeah, that's all I needed. Okay, I always have something to post and those kind of things. And I look now at my growth pattern, everything. I was like plateaued so long ago.
Are you not growing? Have you not grown at all on Instagram in a long time?
I think it was partially burnout, partially like a whole number of things. You and I have kind of bonded over us trying to figure out, okay, what's next?
I've been in a constant state of decline for years as far as Instagram numbers go. And I think like it's probably fair to say right now, if you're watching this, we're specifically talking about Instagram.
Yeah, that's my only platform.
It's unreal the amount of followers I still get. Like it could be like 70,000 new followers, but I'll get 80,000 unfollows. So that minus 10, and it slowly has been chipping away. And I never have been the kind of person to be like, well, I'm shadow banned. It's Instagram. I've always been of the thought, make better content. You're in decline, or people are seeing your stuff and they're reminding, like you're reminding them, as in me, oh yeah, this guy still exists. He's still posting the same things. Here they are, and maybe they're like, I'm not interested in that anymore, so they unfollow.
The recipe is always changing. The algorithm's always changing. And what people are gravitating towards is forever changing. So if you're not able to, I don't want to say if you need to like chase trends, but you do need to know what is your audience specifically asking for or looking for. Sometimes that just means exploration and trying a few things. That's what I'm kind of dedicating this whole year to, is I'm going to try all these different ideas and I'm going to let the community tell me what works and what doesn't.
I honestly think it's been my lack of willing to participate. I know that things are changing and Instagram is more of a video platform, if not entirely a video platform at this point. The CEO has said himself that this is no longer a photo platform. I feel like an old man because it's that old man inside me that's like unwilling to change. Like I will die on this hill.
I remember when it was
square photos.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I will just continue to rebel because that's my personality. I will do the opposite of what what I'm told is the trend. So if the trend is short form content, vertical content, stuff with hooks, everyone's making content about content, which I'm very tired of. I will do everything. I will shoot and post horizontal photos in film, like on film, instead of all those things. There's an audience for that, and there's people that like that. I like it, so I'm going to keep doing it. To this day, I'll keep doing it. But I can't be surprised when I see those metrics going down because I'm refusing to participate. And I think for me, it's putting the ego aside. It's putting the fear aside and the habits. I have been curating the grid for so long that I feel like I got to the end, right? My boat reached the shore. And now it's like, okay, there's nothing left to sail, but I'm still trying to curate the grid. It's gone to the point where it is now hurting me. But it's funny that it was the thing that made me, not entirely, but it is a contributing factor to what made me successful and what made my page worth following and exciting to see, because you could change with the seasons and you could change the grid and the colors, and it was fun to watch. But as this platform's changed, so have the rules. And now the thing that made me where I am is the very thing that's hurting me and making me where I am.
And abandoning that long game is so hard to do, where you're
so
like,
hard.
I spent so long at this. And you know what? I recently had a hat that I made for a client that drove up from Maine with his family for me to make a hat.
That's a haul.
And he was like, I'm going to be honest with you. When I came into the shop, I didn't think I was going to see you or meet you. And I was like, that's weird, because what I realized is I had been so focused on this squeaky clean, like super striking grid when you arrive on the page of beautiful product photography, really cool shots by amazing photographers of our hats out in the wild. I had curated this persona that so many people were surprised when they would come in the shop and realize, like, oh, this is like a dude and his sister and a bunch of friends that make together. The experience that so many people were getting inside of our shop, nobody was getting online when they arrive on the page, when they go to that. I think as much as we have been talking about like trying to get out of the cycle that we've been in, the authenticity and the things that we've worked really hard to establish, we also just need to kind of pull back that curtain and let people see them, because I want people to get the same feeling when they walk in the shop as they do when they arrive on the page, start kind of seeing it, because there was a huge disconnect and it kind of freaked me out for a minute there.
I've often likened that with my work to like the calendar. It's like, I don't want to just be a yearly calendar of beautiful photos that you flip through. And I've been told this my whole life, which is what's frustrating about the whole thing. I've got friends that, the guy that did my whole sleeve, his name's Jimmy Litwalk.
Yeah.
I remember one day he came to Toronto and we were chatting about this very topic. And this might have been 2013 even. Like, I've been curating this thing for a hot minute. And I remember him saying to me, I don't care about your pretty I know that you can take nice photos. That's been established. I want to see what my friend is doing.
Right.
And that always stuck with me, because the mountainscapes and the beautiful rivers and all those things are great. And we know you can do that. And those can maybe show up in YouTube videos and your portfolio and what have you, prints for sale. But your page is like, I want to see what Pete's doing on a normal daily basis. Like, what does your studio look like? What does your filming process look? Who are your friends that are coming through? What are the things that you're into? That's always been, my wife says it all the time, your secret weapon has always been you, your charisma, your ability to connect with people and communicate with people. She's been saying for years, stories is the perfect outlet for you because they're gone tomorrow and you have the perfect personality to be showing off all these things and places and stuff you're doing, stuff you have, things you buy, things you're into, the little art projects. It's perfect for you and it's gone, but you only reshare to your stories a photo that you've posted. So not only are you rebelling, you're posting the wrong content, then you're sharing the wrong content in the wrong places, and then you're just refusing to participate and play the game, and then you wonder why your stats are low. So this year, like you, I've been wanting to let go of that truly. And I've made videos about letting go of Instagram and how I'm going to, I'm going to make this video so that it's a testament and it's out there and it can inspire other people to also let go. And then a couple weeks later, I can't do it, dude. I'm back here. I need that fix. I need to curate my grid and it needs to look amazing. And then I will sleep at night. But ultimately, I just want to share the creative life that I dreamed of having when I was a kid. And that in and of itself is inspiring to people, not necessarily another mountain peak.
We have very much valued ourselves as creators by our work.
Yeah.
You know so many amazing photographers. I know so many amazing hat makers, and you can choose from so many different people. Everybody has their own kind of special sauce, those kind of things. But what I find in the amount of repeat customers I have, the amount of people that have been like ride or die since day one that still show up in my comment section and all of that, they have a personal connection to who I am as a creator, and they want to see more of that process. They want to see how the soup is made, you know, instead of just the moment that you change and you change how you reference your audience and you realize that it is a community and not a commodity. The moment that you change that and you realize that this is a two-way street, that there is a conversation to be had. And that, I think that's the really amazing thing about Instagram is in the comments, the amount of cool conversations that can get going is really something I value a lot and has been an important part of building up my community. Whereas if I want to tell a longer story, then maybe that's where it lives on YouTube. And with little ideas or showing little like bits and snippets of your life, that those candid moments, maybe that's where it exists for stories. Like that's something I'm really interested in exploring over the next year.
Do you ever feel like there's so much to do? I want to make all these stories. I want to make all these reels. I want to make videos amongst a million other things that I want to do with my creative life that aren't necessarily documented on YouTube or this channel. But man, I struggle with actually getting to work and then choosing one of them to do and committing.
I'm restructuring my whole approach to things. My deadlines are going to have to be longer. I need to give myself more time to be able to do the things that I want to do so that I grant myself the ability to go, you know what, I'm going to set up a camera and I'm going to capture some of this and I'm going to talk to people about this. And the trade-off there, I feel, is that I'm inviting my audience in to the process in exchange for the process being a little longer, but at least everyone feels like they're part of the ride. That's something that I think is going to be an interesting way of exploring it.
This just feels like we're in therapy right now. These are the things I'm struggling with, but it's interesting. And I thought it was important to share a lot of the struggles because YouTube and social media and all these things can just be so like such polished versions of an artist that it starts to look like there's no unpolished versions of that same artist. And I think showing the unpolished side is equally as important these days, if not more so important, especially for everyone that's watching so that they get the real picture, not just the fabricated commercialized version of the person that they think they know. It's hard for me sometimes to do this job. It's not just like I'm great at it. I turn the camera on and it flows and it's done every single time 100%. Did you see, the Instagram CEO's Adam Mosseri, I don't know how to say his last name, but it was basically kind of outlining where Instagram was going, what he thought was kind of like beyond Instagram, but like sharing content online, how it relates to AI and how people are trying to be more authentic and people are craving more authenticity and how that's going to look in the future of media and social media. A lot of people had criticism and pushback to that, especially photographers, essentially criticizing like, you want me to post crappier versions of my photos so that they get more engagement and people are convinced that I'm not AI? Because one of the arguments he was saying was AI is getting so good that when it's put up against professional photography, now when people are scrolling, it's becoming hard to distinguish what's fake, what's real, but authentic stuff that's not polished, that's not good, is very easily distinguishable as real and authentic. I agree with that. I'm not going to stop taking polished photos. I will try and start making more unpolished content because I do think that's refreshing. I've kind of gone on this big analog kick in the last few years anyway. But my gosh, dude, I've spent my entire life working on my craft to make it as good and as polished as possible. And now I'm being told if you want people to see it and you want your stuff to grow, Mind you, this is all if we're going to play the game and participate. So keep that in mind. But if I'm going to do this, then take everything that you've been working towards and that you know, forget it, and just start filming everything on your phone. It doesn't matter. People want real, raw. And I see both sides and I struggle with it, but I also get excited by it because the burden that I've carried as a creator who makes films and things for the internet, I always feel like they have to be of the highest quality, of the most cinematic nature to be worthy. And if they aren't cinematic and they aren't great and they don't have deep story and they're just videos in my office here that like they're not worthy of being posted, they're not going to like me. They're not going to want to watch them. So the burden of being able to make things that are just a little more thrown together should be something that I get excited about. And I find myself in this like vortex of confusion when it comes to who I am as an artist, what I want to make, how I want to make it, where I'm going to share it, how it's to be shared. There's so many rules and parameters. And then I think I'm probably just overthinking the whole thing.
I feel the same way. I feel like when somebody walks into my shop, we'll sit there and talk for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Like they get a full tour of the back. I create a piece with them. It's like this very simple, easy thing that is just, it's off the cuff. As soon as I put a camera in front of myself, it's got to be lined up perfect. The lighting's got to be right. All of these things. I'll sit there forever.
That's what we did this morning.
Yeah, exactly. So everything's got to be dialed, right? Because it is an art form in itself.
Have you ever considered maybe, and this would go for anybody that's got a product to sell, a service to sell, anything like that, not just hats, but have you ever considered maybe not necessarily showing the product as much, maybe the opposite? I think of brands like Red Bull, where you never see the product, right? Or Coca-Cola, where they're selling the lifestyle and the brand more than they're selling the physical hat. Like we know you're a hat maker and the following that you have knows you're a hat maker. What if you were showing the BTS and the lifestyle and what a hat does for confidence and those types of things more than just pictures of a hat?
Yeah, and I think that's very much where I want to move my direction in content is I want to build it a lot more around the maker behind it and the people who buy the pieces. Like the amount of awesome people that walk through my door, I want to share their stories more because for what I do, it's very much a collaboration between two people. It is inspiration shared between two people. It's a very maker and muse kind of idea.
Yeah, I would love to crack that somehow because the same could be said to me. Like maybe don't post all your polished photos, put them on your website as a portfolio, and just use your Instagram as the guy that they're here to see. Like my friend Jimmy said,
yeah,
like it's your friend Pete. Like, what is he up to? Where does he exist? How does he make stuff?
Funnel that traffic to your website, and that's where you see the work. And maybe that is the ticket. Maybe
I don't know.
It. Yeah, neither do I.
I'm just like, that's what I'm going to try and figure out this year. I just think like what I do know is that I don't want to just be a curated highlight reel calendar of beautiful photos and nothing behind them. More of those raw, authentic moments. I'm noticing the trend of people sharing a lot of photo dumps, like this past weekend or January dump in February. And I love going through those. So
they're fun.
You know, I'm a big Lewis Hamilton fan.
Yeah.
And I'd love to shoot his portrait one day. So I'm going to put it out there as many times as I can. But recently, the Formula One season is about to start again in like a month. So all the teams are coming back now. You're seeing all the photography kind of fire back up. And Ferrari have an incredible photographer. Antoine is his name. Incredible photographer. And they're posting a bunch of the photos of the guys like on track and testing their cars. And that's great. And I usually am all for those types of photos. But then Lewis posts a January dump of him playing with some dogs and some cool fashion fits. And I'm like, I'm into that stuff. And I found myself much more enamored by those moments that he was sharing than the super cool Ferrari kit, Lewis Hamilton in his red car, which is awesome. But playing with dogs and just being a human and out for a run and those things, like that's what my friend Jimmy said. Just want to see what my friend Pete is doing.
Is it that we are returning back to like what Facebook first was?
It's like MySpace, dude.
Like are we getting back to that sharing your everyday things, thoughts, what you're listening to, that kind of stuff? And on top of it, you also have the kind of like anti-AI movement of, I think that we've just been like sharpening our brains to fire and notice immediately when there is like, oh, that's AI for sure. It's only going to get sharper. It's only going to get better until it is indistinguishable. So people just want something a little bit more raw, an authentic expression of this is me on a day-to-day, this is what I'm working on. And if you want to see this work as a completion, then maybe you can have that control on a website.
Yeah.
On a place where your work can sit, where you can proudly say, this is no AI. This is me showing off the best of me as a portfolio.
And if someone's there, they are there to see that portfolio. I feel like that's a perfect segue to just say this episode's sponsored by Squarespace. I mean, like, it felt like it just fit in there perfect. So if you do need any website, they have great templates, super easy to use, very fast, great customer service. They do have AI tools to help really hone in on what makes you unique in creating a website, so it's not the same as everybody else's. And if you are selling things or hosting a podcast or want a place for clients to log in and look at the work that you did for them, all of that's there. You know the drill. Squarespace is the place to get a website online, and you could have it before we're done talking about how we can catch up to being relevant with social media. Hit the link in the description below to save 10% off your first purchase. Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. I had to do it.
Absolutely.
I just felt it was right. But yeah, I think if people like maybe want to see that stuff and want to see more and want to flip through that, that's where photographers, I feel, could put their work into a book and sell the book and actually like make money off that bank and that archive of photography, instead of just having it all out there for everyone to see at any moment's notice. Or maybe instead of having the entire portfolio on the website, part of it is, and then the rest is supplemented with prints that are for sale or things like that. A way to continue to monetize that stuff that you've spent the last 2 decades working on, as far as my case goes, tirelessly. And then the Instagram is more of how that book that you see on my website, all of that came to be. If you want to see how that whole thing works and how he gets to where he goes and the cameras he uses, that's all on his Instagram. He shows everything. It's so much fun. That's, I think, kind of like the world I want to live in, more than just the whole highlight reel and then I'm gone. I get the comment all the time, I didn't know you run your own Instagram. Like, I thought for sure someone else did it for you.
Definitely.
I'm like, what? How could I ever not run it myself? Well, no one would know that you run it, because you don't share stories. You don't post, up until now, don't post reels. I've changed that. Everything is curated and super perfect, and the captions are pretty boring. And when you do share a story, it's just of the photo. It could literally be anybody running that for me.
If we start treating social media as almost our journal with our fans, this is what I'm doing. These are the things. Work is your website. Your social media is a way to share
socially.
Like it's social. Yeah. Let's be social with it.
Yeah.
And again, treating it as a community and not a commodity.
The stuff that performs the best for me is just me being me, man.
Yeah.
It's just cell phone stuff. It's phone. It's off the cuff. It's a quick thought, a funny joke. No lights, no color, no glam, just Pete.
Every time you just see in the comments, they're like, there he is, original Pete. Like, there you are, Peter.
I know. Yeah. And they make me smile, those comments, but sometimes I overanalyze them and I'm like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, I've been here the whole time, but I know what they mean. And I know how to be that person, because that's usually who I am most cases when the camera's off.
Oh yeah. That's you the whole time the cameras are off. It's just, you got to take editor hat off and like colorist hat off.
It's
and
so
those
hard.
things, and just let Pete be Pete.
Yeah.
You know?
When I made that video at the end of the year, kind of like basically explaining it was a hard year and I lost my dad. Like I wasn't going to talk about that. I didn't know what to say, and I didn't know how to like measure up a video, and I didn't really want to make it into content, but like it was just unavoidable because it was a huge thing in my life. And
Absolutely.
I just kind of started talking about it, and I got a lot of great feedback from that. There were thousands of comments of people thanking me for sharing those details of my life that I would have like 100%. My first choice was to not share any of that and just keep on trekking. But the amount of feedback I got, both in person too, people stopping me that come into the cafe and like, hey, I really appreciated your like candor and how open you were with like that situation with your dad. And like, it was nice to see that side of you. It really opened my eyes to how much people were either noticing that, you know, there is a different version of me that maybe I didn't even know that exists off camera, that when the camera turns on, I'm trained. I'm a certain way. I'm a certain volume. I've got a certain, there's, I don't know. There's a performative aspect to it that I don't think I fully realized until I just was stripped away of it all, just talking about my dad. And people were like, thanks for actually showing us that you're a human being. I think it was refreshing for a lot of people. Like, you know, maybe that version of me existed earlier when I started YouTube. You start finding your footing. You start getting more polished, finding new ways of being more efficient. That happens both within your practices, also the gear that you're using. So everything becomes more polished. And then before you know it, you're kind of this like commercialized version of what you used to be when you started. And I think that's the difference people are calling out when they say like, there's the Pete that taped a GoPro to his foot that like was flipping into the garbage in his garage. That's always referenced.
Yeah.
Versus, commercial Pete now that's doing commercials for Canon, and that's cool and we're proud of you. But like somewhere along that journey, that authentic dude that we all fell in love with has kind of like taken a back seat. So I think it's about this year bringing that, not even bringing that version back, but just allowing him out.
Yeah, absolutely. Giving him his time.
We were talking in the third person about myself and my feelings, but
And I think people are just longing for connection and for a real thing, and to see somebody who has helped them become a better photographer, they've been with for years and years, this relationship that you've formed with your fan base. You just want to be real with them. You want to connect with them.
Yeah. It's a lot of overthinking.
Yeah.
I'm a master at that, dude. Like I got a book of ideas here. There's 30 ideas here for videos. I was going through them with you earlier. I could just commit to making every single one of these and I would already make more videos this year than I did last year. And like 2017, Pete could have got this list done in like 2 months because I was making 3 videos a week plus. 2017, Pete also cared a lot less about how good and how perfect everything. You remember those videos I made about done is better than perfect. 2026, Pete's like, it's got to be a film, it's got to be a masterpiece, or nobody cares.
Your bucket shot, like those things, that became a prison for you, where it had to be 2 planes flying in front of a cliff.
Dude, take the most gnarly eclipse photo or a portrait of Kiefer Sutherland, or your work isn't worth it.
I love these shots, and I've been able to, like with the Kiefer, we got to do that together, like those kind of things. Those are huge wins and really cool. But I think it was everybody seeing how excited you were to when Kiefer's like car pulls up and when you're nervous, those kind of things.
That was like the takeaway.
Yeah,
like,
it was cool. People wanted to see that.
Yeah.
It's it was just like it was a real person having real emotion over somebody they actually are a fan of.
I bet I could have even withheld the photo from that video and nothing would have changed.
100%.
As far as how that video is perceived. I'll go through all these ideas, dude, and I'll be stoked on them today, and tomorrow I could read the same ideas and just be like, nah, don't care. Like, I'll give you 10 reasons why it wouldn't work. And I'll give you 10 reasons why I think the audience would hate it. Again, just speaking for them and not trying these things out. But it's minus 30 outside. I'd have to make it in my office. I don't think people want to see me in here anymore. When have you ever watched like a Philip DeFranco episode and thought like, I wish he'd leave the room he's in?
Yeah, I wish.
Never.
Yeah, now he's like sitting behind, like you can see part of the closet door and all that. Like he used to have that super slick studio, and then when he moved, he did that, and I didn't care.
I could care less. I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
It's funny because I would have all this advice for someone else. I can give them a million ideas on videos they should make, how they should make them, how they can be authentic, a way to connect with an audience better. And I apply none of it to me.
Oh, yeah.
And then it comes to me and I do everything opposite, or I do nothing. And it's like, where has Pete been, dude? Like it's freaking the middle of February and you've made 1 video. I should really like get out of my own way and start making videos, and then I'll spiral about, well, I never used to be like this. Why am I like this now? And then there goes the train starts and still nothing gets made because I'm just overanalyzing a version of myself that doesn't exist anymore, instead of just accepting that that version's gone and that's okay.
And also accepting that that version of the internet, how we consumed content, all that, that's gone too.
That's gone too. Yeah.
Just being open to that, because if we just keep going to the same old recipe book over and over and over again, it's going to get tired. People are going to see through it. And it's just, that's not life. And that's what people want to see, is like real people living their lives, doing real things.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to embrace change or try different things, or at least show an evolution, why is your audience going to stick around?
But you know what? These are also the conversations that I would have typically not put on a video.
Yeah.
Like, this is what you and I would chat about. And then I'd be like, okay, let's turn on the cameras and get this video done.
Yeah, absolutely. Now
And then
let's
I
do
would
the polished presentation of, here we are lighting hats on fire and getting wild.
I would show you none of this, right?
Instead of always kind of looking in that rear view and reaching back to try and grab, okay, I want what I used to have. It is embracing the fact that it's a very different landscape. It's a very different road ahead.
Reminded me of a quote there. Remember when you wanted what you already have? Because it's true. It's like there was a point where you just wanted to be a YouTuber. You know, the dream, working in a factory, looking out the door, seeing the planes fly, being like, one day I could just be on one of those planes with a camera. And then you are, and then, you know, it's easy to sometimes lose sight of the fact that it's a pretty incredible place of where we both landed.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that we get to create for a living, that we have all of this opportunity, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the followers, for the community, for the people who brought us into their homes, who maybe are still in that factory looking out at that plane saying, I'm going to be on it one day. The more we respect the people that keep our lights on, that keep our train running, the more genuine the content is going to be. As soon as we start treating it like an avenue that's just like, this is how I get from A to B, instead of treating it as this exchange of ideas, of passion, of all these things.
All right. That's a good spot to end it. Happy birthday, dude.
Thank you, dude.
It's going to be a good year.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to hold you accountable to the authentic content coming out of that channel, that Instagram account. I want to see the YouTube channel come to life. Do you think in 2026, you're of the opinion that it's too late to start YouTube?
I mean, shout out our guy, Monty.
Yeah.
You know, I think he is the perfect example of like, one, you're never too old to do it.
He started that channel when he was, I think, like 82. Yeah.
And like no help from Pete.
83.
He just did his thing.
All.
Yeah. And I think with YouTube, it depends on like what your intentions are. And I think that's why your dad was successful, is his intention wasn't like, I'm going to be a YouTube star. He's like, I want to share what I'm passionate about. I want to tell longer stories. I want to share more stories about people. And YouTube seems to be the place where that can happen.
Well, I'm excited for you. Appreciate you coming out and chatting with me for like an hour. Let the people know where they can find you.
Coudetet.ca, at Coudetet on Instagram. And very soon I'll be announcing you can come and check us out on a YouTube channel. So
yes,
that'll be coming down the pipeline.
Thank you for watching this video. Appreciate you. Subscribe if you haven't already. I will make it my mission this year to bring you as much content, both BTS polished and unpolished, as I possibly can. And I think the year is young. So I think there is a lot of opportunity, even for anybody out there that's watching this that has a small idea that maybe isn't fully fleshed out yet. I think start the channel, put it on Instagram, put it out there. I think that the year is young and it's still an absolute great opportunity and great space for people to be creative and
follow your passions.
Make their mark.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're passionate and it's what you love to do, you can't think of doing anything else, share it.
That's what it should be.
Share it.
Yeah. All right. You got birthday plans. Let's wrap this up.